The key phrase or the key word of what I've discovered about relationships is a meeting. And when I say meeting, I don't mean when I was walking down the street and I met this guy. No, the meeting is something that we come together. And in a way, as I meet the other person, I discover who he is, but also the meeting permits him to be himself. That's to say, if the chap wants to show that he's better than you and that he knows more than you, there's no meeting. Meeting is something about humility. I discover your person. That could sometimes mean to know a bit your story, to know your weaknesses, to know your strength. But somewhere it's to know your person in your desire to be authentic, to be yourself. So a meeting is about two people coming together, not wanting to possess, not wanting to hold on, not wanting to be possessed. But it's about helping the other, it's liberating the other to be yourself. You don't have to be what others want you to be. You don't have to be what I want you to be. It's okay to be yourself. I can tell you the story here of Françoise. Françoise, she died at the age of 80. When she came, she was 40. She could walk, but she couldn't speak. She couldn't eat by herself. And as she was here, she gradually got weaker and more fragile. And eventually, at the end of her life, she was blind, and she was practically all the time in bed. And there was Peter, who was asked to feed her. And so he did. He wasn't very happy because he hadn't had much real times with her. And he said to me, or he witnessed once, that he had been feeding her. And at one moment, she looked at him. She was blind. She turned her head towards him, smiled, and put her hand on his hand. And he said, something happened inside. I discovered that this woman of nearly 80 loved me and was grateful to me. And that I wasn't wanting to prove anything. I hadn't want to seek to be admired. No, there was just a meeting between us. And a meeting which brought down the walls, my defense mechanisms, and I could become myself in front of her. That doesn't mean to say that they were called to be friends for a long time. No, it was a meeting which somewhere revealed to Peter who he was, and also it was a moment, I'd say, of great joy for Françoise. So there's something about humility, truth, being who I am, even to be able to tell my story. Like I can tell you the story of somebody who was in L'Arche in Australia. Before being in L'Arche, she would work with the world of prostitution. And one day she met somebody who was dying, whom she had met already, was dying of an overdose. And she had already met this young man, took him into her arms, and his last words were, "You've always wanted to change me. You never accepted me as I am." But somewhere, the day that that young person can tell his story, how he got into this, what happened in his childhood, how he had been hurt and wounded and so on. So the meeting is something about truthfulness. It's about telling the story, how I've been hurt, how I've been wounded. So many people might find it difficult to meet that young man in prostitution because there's manipulation, there's all sorts of things that can... But then if I'm helped, because it's for me also to be truthful about myself. I'm not there to change you. I'm not there because I'm better than you. I'm there because you are a person and you're a beautiful person, because you're a person and I'm also a person. So we come together and we can meet in truth, and we can reveal to each other our gifts and our weaknesses. And that's okay.